driving right now, but I wanted to pull out the camera and record this because my thoughts were so intrusive that it's interrupting my podcast, and coincidentally a therapy podcast that I'm trying to listen to, but I can't because my thoughts are somewhere else. So I'm thinking about why on the topic of why I am the way I am and why I've developed habits that have lasted throughout my entire life. I'm currently thinking about why I don't fully trust anyone around me and why I always think people are out to get me, or like any sort of positive things that are happening to me won't last. And what I mean by that is, for example, I'm always looking over my shoulder for people to be dissatisfied or just suddenly uninterested. And the first thing that pops up, now you can see me. The first thing that pops up is in relationships. I always think that, especially after the first argument or disagreement, I always wonder, like, is this where it takes a turn? Is this where we break up? Or is this where they stop liking me? And then in a most recent case, I borrowed money from a friend. In so many words, I borrowed money from a friend, or they looked out for me monetarily to help me do something. And that's been on my conscience a lot. And I haven't talked to that friend coincidentally since it has happened. And so my thoughts are like, they're not talking to you because you owe them. And they're like displeased with you right now. So now it's like that awkward thing where, do I reach out to my friend or do I not talk to them until I pay them back? And so that's how my brain works. I'm always thinking that, people won't continue to like me for whatever made up reason that I come up with. Or like I have to maintain some sort of image so that people continue to like me or continue to care about me, continue to love me. And as soon as I feel like that time has expired, I kind of distance myself almost automatically. And I recall in relationships, because I am single right now, because I am working on all these things. I recall in relationships always needing validation every so often, especially when I was a lot younger and I felt way more insecure as far as appearance and, seeing people interact. It was always like, oh, this person is making him laugh or smile more. I don't feel like I've done that. I don't think I've made this person smile that way before. Or seeing somebody that I find visually attractive and then automatically comparing that to myself, which is ridiculous because I was born to look the way that I look, and no one can wear that better than me, and everyone should wear what they look like to the fullest extent. But in my mind, I need to compare myself and pick myself apart at every little thing. Personality, appearance, everything. I just pick myself apart. And so because I do that to myself, I automatically assume that other people do that to me as well. So I put myself under a microscope, and I've convinced myself that other people put me under a microscope. So that is what I have been doing to myself for my entire life. And I am trying to unlearn that and rework that. And yeah, I'm probably gonna go. I'm driving right now, but when I get home, I'm gonna make breakfast and probably trying to find some videos on this topic to maybe pinpoint where it comes from and how I can unlearn the way that I talk to myself and the toxic way that I view the world. I did see a video at one point, I think it was on Kurzgesagt, and they were talking about how the way that you view yourself can turn into the way that you think the world views you, when in reality, no one's paying you any mind in most cases. And it makes it really hard to receive positivity. Like, even compliments. I've always been really weird about receiving compliments. But even compliments or like praise is hard for me to receive and maintain, as far as like believing that the person means what they say and there's no expiration date on what they say. So like, when I was really big into art in school, and so I never told my mom about award shows or anything. Actually, better example, to this day, people praise me for stuff like, I don't know, knowing random information or being good at things that I consider simple. So because I consider them simple, my mom will say something like, "You're so good at X, Y, and Z." And I'll just be like, that's nothing. Like, you know, my mom will say something like, "You're so technically inclined." And all I did was like restart a computer and get it to work or something. And it's almost offensive. Or like, my mom will say like, I'm so proud of you, you're not pregnant and you went to school. And it's just like, that makes me feel like shit, because that's like the bare minimum in most family structures. Like, actually in this day and age, the bare minimum is to not be killed, but that's deeper than what we're talking about. But I don't know, I've always been weird about compliments and praise, and I always feel like because I've set such a high bar for myself, that anyone praising me for something that I feel is so small and that I don't deserve to be praised for, I turn it into nothing. Like, I've diminished praise and what it should do to people. And it's crazy because people will be like, well, you know, you should just talk to yourself how you would talk to someone you care about. And it's like, well, I guess I can't say I care about myself, because the way that I talk to people I care about is completely different than how I talk to myself. My inner voice is just extremely problematic. And I'm not sure if that's a defense mechanism or something that I developed to keep me safe from disappointment. I assumed that I was disappointed a lot when I was a kid for some reason. So to keep me safe from disappointment, I decided that the only person that was going to disappoint me was myself. And so I made everything disappointment, so that disappointment wasn't a shocking feature in my life, or like wasn't something to cripple me. And in turn, I crippled myself. I don't know. So yeah, this angle is going to be really weird, but I'm going to upload this video to YouTube anyway, because the people who get me, get me. And even if you don't watch it, you can sit it somewhere and play it to know that you're not the only one that goes through this, and we need help. Me and you who relates to this, we need help, and we need to unlearn this, because it's not normal. Even if it is normal, it's not okay. It's not healthy. And I would love to be one of those people that pours love and light into myself the way that I try to pour into other people. This is such a bad angle. Look at my neck. See? My ego is already trying to stop me from being transparent. So yeah, I would love to start pouring more love into myself, because another thing that I've been thinking about as I do the work on self is how important this is to relationships, and how good of a partner I would like to be in the future to whoever. Because as much as I want to pour love into myself, I want to pour love into them and make sure that they feel the best, and that they also, I can assist them with the tools to improve themselves and feel better, and like encourage growth, and, you know, emphasize all the amazing things about people and what people have to offer and what they often can't see about themselves. I would like to be able to assist my partner, and the best way that I can do that is first work on myself. I'm not even there. How can I expect myself to be that ally to someone else? So yes, that is my TED Talk for this morning. I'm almost home now, so I'm going to remove my ugly neck from this from this platform, and I hope that me being transparent allowed a sort of mirror for other people to see stuff that they may not have paid attention to or thought was a big deal. It is a big deal. Just because you've gotten used to something doesn't mean that it's not something that needs to be removed just because you're familiar with it and you're used to it. You gotta start getting uncomfortable and having real conversations and stuff. Ooh, look at that light though. Alright guys, have a good day. Use the comments as a safe space. I would love to hear your input. And who knows, maybe I'll update with the information that I find in my own journey. I might make a video with an update, but you guys know how these videos go by now. They're kind of random, so yeah. I will talk to y'all soon.